is a myth that old age is a time of loneliness, but we've already seen that is not true. Older adults do have a smaller social network than younger people, however. Early in the field of gerontology, people concluded this is probably fate. You can't do much about it. Older people's friends just drop away because they die. And so social support must also decline in later life. But this supposition flies in the face of the strong research evidence that older people receive as great, if not greater, social support from a smaller group of social contacts than younger people. Why is this? Laura Carstensen was really interested in this question. She wanted to study older people's social networks and find out how social support networks change as we age. She wanted to know, are there motivational forces that cause people to shape their social network in a certain way? Earlier in life, people tend to have really broad social networks because they're doing lots of things. People are at university, they're working, they have their family, they have their friends. They're choosing and weighing up different roles. They're experimenting with ways of being in the world, and so they need a broad social network to ask questions of and just to communicate with. Then, in middle life, people have perhaps settled on a career or they're very engaged with their family, and so their need for that broad information base lessens. Now they need information about specific things that they're concentrating on doing at that point in time. Then, in the later years of life, people realize that they have lived more years of life than they have left to live. Of the life that you have remaining, you want to make the most of it. Older people are also likely to have less resources than they had earlier in life. Maybe physical health is more tenuous, maybe financial resources are less robust. So care needs to be taken in order to live the most meaningful life. With this time perspective in mind, Carstensen determined that older people actively prune their social networks. They put their time and effort, which is limited, into the most meaningful relationships, the relationships that are actually giving back to them. That's a strategic thing to do. They prune away people that aren't supportive, that do not bring meaning into their life, or worse, that are a drain on resources. Strategic people do this throughout life, but it is particularly important that this occurs later in life to maximize meaningful interactions. This idea is called socio-emotional selectivity, and it is another gerontological theory that is very influential. So older adults focus on people and activities that really mean a lot to them. That's why, with a smaller social network, they get a bigger bang for their buck. My advice to you is if you want to stay friends with older people, always show up, or they will cut you out of their social network. They will unfriend you on Facebook, and they won't think twice about it. Older adults, by the way, are the fastest growing group of Facebook users.